Logan, everyone, this is Randy, your sewing machine man, and what we have today is a serger. Not just any serger, it's a Juki serger, and it just happens to be the one that I recommend for people to buy. So Juki Overlock Sewing Machine MO-114D. The D means it's got a differential feed. It says right there, differential. I believe them. That's what it has. It's a 4-thread serger, 2 needles, and the reason I like this one is it's very simple. It's just a good solid serger. Of course, sergers are for sewing a couple layers, for just joining 2 pieces together. It's not for sewing real heavy stuff, and that's where people get in trouble trying to sew it too much. A serger does 3 things. Has a cutter, has a blade. It has to cut. Underneath has feeders, has to feed, and then it has the loopers and the needles, has to sew. So it does 3 functions. It cuts it first. If it can't cut it, if it's too heavy, it won't feed it. If it can't feed it, it won't sew it. So a lot of folks tear their sergers up, especially if they have a serger that I don't recommend, which is the Singer Ultralock. Any of the new Ultralocks, they're pretty sad in my opinion. I don't care for them. I can get them going, but good Lord, they're so poorly made. The parts and stuff move around, and this one has good firm loopers, and you can set them and they'll pass by each other, because they have to pass by each other very closely. And if they're not well made, they'll strike each other if they're wobbling around. So this is a nice rigid little unit. And if you get like a Singer Ultralock, you're going to have problems with it. I just don't recommend those. If you get an old Singer, like a 14U33, like my wife has, one of the old Singers from back in the 60s, early 70s, all steel, everything's good, but those are harder to find. So people can't find those. They say, I want to buy a new one. What should I get? Well, if you have to go out and buy a new one, here's the guy to get right here, Juki. They've been making machines, sergers especially, for everybody. They make a lot of different. You look on the back of a lot of the Elnas. You look on the back of the Berninas. You look on the back of a lot of different machines. It'll say made for whoever, by Juki, Tokyo, Japan. And they've been making a lot of good sergers for a long time. This, I like. It has a good threading. You bring it through. Make sure you pull it down tight. Pull it down tight. Get it between the disc all the way across. It's got the zone. 3 to 5 is where you're going to be. 3 to 5. If you find yourself sliding this up and down, it's not threaded right. It's got to be in this zone to work effectively. It's really easy to thread up here. Easy to thread down here. It's got a threading diagram. It's pretty straightforward. And what I like about it, you don't have to worry about having some sort of a goofy vacuum or some sort of a thing that sucks it through. Although it's what they call self-threading. There's no such thing. There is no such thing as self-threading. Some are easier than others. Some are harder than others. But there is no self-threading. This has a looper for the lower looper over here that you push this down. And then you put it in and swing it back up. Threading's over here. All the diagrams and all that. So it's color coded, which helps you a great deal. But every serger is difficult to thread. There's none of them that are not easy to thread. If you're thinking about getting a serger, know this. They're hard to thread. And I'll tell my customers, are you sure it's threaded correctly? Yes, I've threaded it 30 or 40 different ways. One of those had to be right. You have to know how to thread a serger like you know how to tie your shoes. You tie them once, you're done, because you've done it a million times. You know how to do it. You got to know it like you know your own name. They're hard to thread. And if you get it threaded right, you're ready to go. You do a good job. And if you miss the tension up here, you just lay the thread on top. Don't pull it down in tight. It'll make a bad stitch. Same here, here, here. Make a bad stitch. Miss any one of these little guides. Miss a guide. Put the needle in wrong, miss anything up here, it'll make a bad stitch. So you got to make sure you have it threaded right. This, of course, like I said, has a differential feed. Over here on the side, you have your stitch length. It's on 3, which is like 10 stitches per inch. That's a good garment constructing stitch. N is for neutral. You can go plus, you can go minus. You can make the fabric bunch up. You can make it stretch out. So that's what's good about having the differential feed. So I'm going to give this 2 thumbs up. If you're going to go buy a new one, you can get them at Walmart online, a lot of different places online, and they'll send it to you between 2 pieces of foam, and it won't be too banged up because they pack them very well, and they usually arrive in good shape. And this is the MO-114D. You're going to probably pay about $5.99 for it. That's the going rate at all the different online retailers. You might find a local sewing machine guy who I would recommend you buy it locally than buy it on the internet. If you buy a guy online, just if his is $6.25, then buy it from him. Give him the $25. Then you'll have a relationship with a repair guy. In case you misthread it, he'll help you out. So, I recommend it. The MO-114D overlock sewing machine with differential feed from Juki.